A lot of people were owed a lot of money. I was doing maybe 6 figures a week in solar. A lot of problems that people have in running a call center is the sales rep, because sales reps like to bounce around. You have a tech company. You run media. You're a tech company. Your tech needs to be on point. That's how I look at it. Call center, not a call center. It's a goddamn tech company.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Ringba, the #1 call tracking platform. If you haven't already, make sure to get the pay-per-call revolution if you want to learn what all the excitement is about pay-per-call.
Guys, I've got a very special guest from the affiliate space, my friend Samar, who is not just an affiliate, but he actually comes from an insurance background, which I think is super interesting, super exciting to hear if you're an affiliate, if you're an advertiser, or if you're just coming into the affiliate space. So, man, how did you first get started in insurance before you became an affiliate?
So I only had a couple of jobs in my life. All right. One job was essentially working for my dad, right? I started working for my dad when I was like 7 years old. 7 years old, I'm working for my dad, and it kind of taught me to be like, okay, cool. We're entrepreneurs. This is my dad's business. I learned customer service. Now,
What's that business?
It was actually a corner store.
What type of
Corner store.
a quarter store?
Yeah, a bodega.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm working 7 years old at a bodega, selling Black and Milds, and well, at least not at 7, but selling stuff. And pretty much, I learned customer service, and I started going to FIU, and I started working at a call center. And I worked at like two call centers. And I was actually a fronter in the beginning. So they moved me up in like 2 weeks. They got me to close. I'm closing deals at 17 years old. And I was just like, holy, like I'm doing this. And I'm making like $3,000 a week, 17 years old.
17.
Yeah. So I kind of questioned everything about life. And I was like, why do I go to school making all this great money?
You're making more than your professor.
But the thing is that my parents never had the opportunity to go to school, right? So I was just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm doing this for my parents. I gotta get a degree on the wall, right? The whole goal, to make my parents happy. They didn't have the opportunity to go. So I was like, I'm the first generation here in the United States. So I was like, you know what, let's go to school, let's finish it. And in the process, I worked at a couple of call centers, and then me and my brother Sal, we opened up our first one. And it was like a retail location. The rent was really low, and we started selling insurance as kids. I was like maybe 19 or 20 when I opened my first insurance like company. It failed, of course, right? We're kids. We made stupid mistakes, but we got to learn CRM.
Was it just the two of you?
Or did it was just me and my brother Sal? Yeah. So then we decided to continue at it. And over time, we were able to figure out CRMs, PBX, retention. And that was just a hard learning experience that we had to go through. And over time, we ended up bringing on more partners on. And we went along and built this whole book of business. Like from 2014 to like 2019, 2020, we built a pretty decent book of business that was yielding about $400,000 to $450,000 per month in residual income. I could shut down my
23, 22, 24.
Say that again?
How old were you? Like 21?
So I was around 26 by the time, 26, 27, around the time that we were able to like at our peak, right? So I had a little situation where I built this whole book of business, and I had a business partner who essentially just ran with the book. He changed a couple of back-end bank accounts, and I worked 10 years to build this book of business, me and Sal did, and now we're stuck. We're like, what the, like, we thought that we were gonna get paid $150,000 a month. Now no revenue. Zero. We actually started doing internal media buying around 2017. So I knew how to media buy, right? And also media bought for my dad. I built my dad's website when I was a kid. I media bought for his local business. He sells propane. So in South Florida, we are the largest volume propane dispensary in South Florida because of fucking Google Ads, right? So, and even AmeriGas is a huge company.
Yeah, huge.
They contacted my dad and said, "Who's doing your ads? Like, we want to talk to him." I said, "Well, like, they're a competitor, but they're also our upline. They provide us gas." I said, "That I'm not talking to them." Right? So we continued doing that, and year after year, we sell more gallons than anyone else, and that's just pure based off of me running ads for my dad, and I've started really young. So now we're internal media buying for U65, which is one of the hardest verticals to do media buying for.
But you were an affiliate. You were
I was, yeah.
so you get the lifetime value.
Yeah. So basically, the customer clicks on the lead, goes on the website, and the lead goes directly into our CRM as a high priority, and my agents dial out. We also had inbounds coming in at the time. We worked out. Now we had this whole situation with the business partner or whatever. Now we're flat on our face. I was like, man, I need to get into like lead gen, right? Because I know how to lead gen for U65. It's super hard to lead it. Like if I can do it for U65, I can do it for other verticals as well. So I wanted someone to mentor me in media buying, in the affiliate space. I didn't know what a network was. I didn't know what an advertiser was. I didn't know what anything was. I didn't know this terminology. I didn't know postback URLs. I didn't know any of that shit.
I understand.
I just knew you run Google fucking ads, you have those guys drive traffic to your call center and your guys close them. That's all I knew. So I was like, okay, cool. Now at the time I was messing around with a lot with AI. I was like, okay.
What year was this?
This was 2023.
It's a year ago.
a year and a half ago. I was messing a lot with AI, and I was just like, all right, cool. How can I get someone to mentor me? And they're not going to mentor someone who has no idea about affiliate. So what I did was, I'm also a very techie guy, very techie. I built this system that it uses something called LangChain. Now, LangChain is a vector database that Pinecone, for example, pinecone.com, I don't know if it's Pinecone AI or whatever. I built this system where we can feed that database a bunch of information. Based on that information, I can then chat with a chatbot that would look at that data first, and then it would give me the response, right? So what I did was I took all the top affiliate marketing books, affiliate 100M offers, all the top affiliate books. I fed it thousands and thousands of pages, PDF, into that AI. Then I asked it to make a blueprint for me pitching somebody for do a mentorship. So if I go to somebody and say, hey, mentor me, they're going to be like, bitch, you don't know nothing, right? So then I was able to come up with a blueprint of advertisers, how to scale, what the strategy should be, what should be the program about. It was a 1-month program. I wanted someone to teach me. So then I built out this entire blueprint. When I presented it to somebody and said, teach me on this, they said, ooh, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. The blueprint matches what it is. I got my mentorship in affiliate space, and after that, I just started scaling offers, right? I learned about Facebook ads, I learned about TikTok ads, I learned about all those things, and I just started scaling. My first vertical was actually solar, and that's when I started really hitting off on solar, right? Solar was like my number one vertical, and that's when I met David. David does solar. And now I'm in the space where we run a lot of different offers, all internal. I don't broker anything. I'm not a broker type of guy. I know what I run, and since I come from the call center side, I know it's all about CPA. And
You get it. Which a lot of affiliates don't. They're just thinking about CPL on the front.
They just want to rip it. So we never had that ripping mentality because we know, like, hey, if the end buyer doesn't have the right CPA,
they're going to cut you off.
They're going to cut you off. So our model is I work closely with the end buyer on what their CPA is. And if I can help them in any way on the call center side, because we have our own custom CRMs, we have our own custom PBXs, we swap out DIDs, outbound dialing. We never get spam likely, like all custom. We built it all internally. And I work really closely with the developer on building that. So I understand what the call center lacks and what I hop on a call with them. Hey, what's your opening? How is your pitch looking like? I wrote all of my sales pitches for all my call centers, me and Sal did. And I understand what the opening should be, what the angle is, and how the opening should be. So based on that information, I work closely with the end buyer. And I've been in situations where, like solar, for example, I was driving a lot of traffic for a solar offer, and they kind of went under. And last year, December 2023, a lot of solar companies kind of belly up,
Folded.
right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't get paid. I got my payment in 2 weeks, and I'll tell you how I did it. A lot of people were owed a lot of money. I was doing maybe 6 figures a week on solar with that one offer. They paid me is because I would hop on strategy calls with their internal team on their zip code targeting based on the data. I had that offer. I had that offer provide me all of the traffic that went on their O&O, and I would make their zip list targeting for their pubs. And I did it all with AI, ChatGPT, Claude, all that. It's all about prompt engineering. So if you know how to prompt engineer, you can really figure out, like I built this system called a zip code maker. So I can throw in a bunch of data, and it would tell me what zip codes to target based on the traffic that came. So data's like a commodity. If you have data, you can build anything the fuck you want, and you can market to those specific types of people and have AI analyze which types of people are living in those zip codes. And obviously adding in more additional data like consensus data, figuring out what's the race in those zip codes. So now we know, like for solar, 85% of our solar leads came from predominantly white household incomes. So now I know what to weed out. Now I know I can take that consensus data if they accept. So if a zip code that they provide me is on that list, and I know that it's possibly not going to convert, I won't. If they give me 20,000 zips to run, I'm probably only going to run 7,000 out of that based on the data that I already have on that particular vertical. So our targeting, so that's why our ROIs are higher, is because we know that, hey, why am I going to have an impression cost in an area that I'm not going to convert in, right? So it just comes down to like figuring out what it is, but that's essentially my journey, man. I had a rough start. I had a great start in insurance. And I had a little situation where I had to really figure out, like, what am I going to really do? And I was able to really hit it off. And my thing was, I'm a learner. I love to learn. And I started coming to all these shows, and I started connecting. And I want to thank Ray Sinlau. Ray, like, I love Ray to death. Ray has really helped me become who I am in the affiliate space.
How'd you first meet him? At a show?
So, Isa Saroni was my first AM
Oh, okay.
at eCompy. Okay, when she was at eCompy, she was my first AM, and I gave it out to her. She definitely, and we were on calls till 1 a.m. She was teaching me how to do post-back, and this is before my mentorship. This is when I was trying to figure it out. I was like, there's definitely something here. I need a mentorship. So before all that, she helped me set up all that. She added me to Walker's group, it was called ASC 2023 at the time.
Yeah.
And the name changes over time. Like, I think I changed the last name. I think I did the last name change. She added me to Walker's group, and that's when Ray hit me up, and me and Ray talked on the phone. And I told him, hey, like, I have a call center for U65, and I was gonna buy leads from him. And that never happened. But we ended up connecting on other things. And then we connected at ASC like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago in New York. And we're literally sitting in Ray's room till 5 a.m, just talking. And that's when me and Ray really clicked it. And Ray's always been a great friend. And I even hosted his birthday party here. And I appreciate the fact that
12 days of Ray.
12 days in here in Colombia.
A lot to handle.
Cartagena here. And I had Ron Hart. I had Ray. Drew was here. And then I think a month later, Walker came, and Ron Hart again came. But Ray hasn't made his way back. I still have his clothes in my
He
closet.
ducked us this week.
And I told him, hey, let me bring your clothes back to one of the shows. He said, no. I'm going to pick up my clothes when I come back to Colombia. If so, he will come. And so Ray is the one who introduced me to all of these people. And I was able to really, look, I'm the type of person that provides information. In return, I get information. And I feel like knowledge sharing is the most important part. And if you can knowledge share, like, the sky's the limit. Because I do have a lot of knowledge in call center space. Closing deals, retentions, so on and so forth. Building an agency. Building an agency is not, it's not easy. It's not easy. You can do one, maintain rep. Like, we're at Columbia Con right now, and I have sales agents that I pitched that to come here to work in one of my call centers here in Columbia. And they're from Atlanta, they're from North Miami, and they did that because they believe in us. And they did that because they see a real future impact with our company, right? So now we're training a bunch of Colombian guys. Like, we have a full blown out system here. And that's Ray's like the one that got me into this space, like introducing me to people. And now look, I met you how long ago? It's been quite some time since we
Probably
met.
close to a year.
Close to a year. And my goal is just to help, right? I can provide assistance and whatever you need, I'll do it. And I may not want anything in return from you, but I know the way karma works, I'll get it back from someone.
100%.
Like,
Not enough people in the affiliate space think that way.
No, that's the
Majority do
mindset.
not.
Yeah, and I learned that from my parents, right? My parents really helped a lot of people growing up. Like, my parents still support families in other countries, and they pay their bills, they put a roof over their head, and it's just based on, hey, I'm getting prayers. Hey, that's it. And those prayers really do help. In one way, form, shape, or another, they come through when you're in a fucked up situation. Those
You need the most and you're expecting it the least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much been my journey, man. I honestly, I'm a hustler. I work nonstop. Like, you can call me at 2 a.m. I'll have my laptop cracked open. I'm analyzing data. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm seeing how I can present this to my team so we can scale even further, you know? There's just a lot going on lately with the affiliate space. I feel like it's the economy. Economy right now is a little bit tough. So
Yeah, but with the right information, the right connections.
with the right information, the right connections, with the right data, you can still get a decent ROI. Now, if you're running broad and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll run. Yeah, you're still do well. But I feel like when you're so targeted and you know what you want, you know your customer, you'll get the most out of it. And you'll have the lowest ad spend and the most ROI and the most revenue from that.
So what are you focused on right now?
So right now, so we are
You're
running.
doing less traditional affiliate offers, right?
So we are doing home services. Home services is something that obviously I started off in home services. It's essentially because I know how to analyze the home service data. I was like, why not do it, right? So based on everything that I learned in this space, on attending all these masterminds, like I've been to like 3 or 4 of Gabe's masterminds. Gabe Ansel, amazing guy. All his masterminds are amazing. And I learned a lot. So I apply that to what we do, different verticals like auto, home services. We have final expense now, pay-per-call. But I was like, you know what, man? Let's apply all this media buying to our own end-to-end offer.
Business.
Our own end-to-end offer. Look, ROIs are great generating leads. It's stupid for you not to do. But is that the end goal? It's not the end goal. The end goal, like I remember you told me that you had your own gym offer, right? And ultimately, like that's the end goal, is to have your own offer, have memberships, have all that. So we have basically our own offer we do here in Colombia. And our goal here is to like scale that up. Just run that operation, build a book of business.
All internal. You're not looking for outside traffic.
So we have, so right now we started this a couple of months back, and I started doing the media buying for that. And I was like, you know what, let me do the media buying because I know what we're running and I'm in the call center all day. And I know what rebuttals, objections, what we're coming across and how to minimize the ad spend on the BS. So once we're able to really hone in on, okay, cool, these people don't buy, these people are broke, these people are this, because we're collecting payment, like we're processing people on our own mids. We need to know, like, why would we show our ads to these people? Over time, they showed us that they don't buy. So the goal is to have your own end-to-end, have your own reps, manage them, maintain them, keep them happy. The most important part of running a call center is reps. Because if you can keep your reps happy and engaged and incentivized, that's all you need. A lot of problems that people have in running a call center is the sales reps, because sales reps like to bounce around from room to room. They find that this next call center is providing them better
payment or better hours, better conditions.
So we honestly we've done some pretty wild stuff with our agents back in Miami, and every Christmas we would do a yacht party. And it would be the most insane party you would ever imagine. Very unorthodox, where we would have big, large checks that we present to people, 5K bonuses. We publicly announce bonuses. And it was a whole show. Sal would be the host on the mic, pumping everybody up. Sal was the hype man. Yeah, we would have fun with it. And even here, like all our call center here, we have a chef all day that makes them breakfast and lunch. We provide an atmosphere. We provide a culture of money never stops. We never stop. Whatever you need for you to excel, we're going to give that to you. And with that, we're able to really scale because we have the right people on our team.
Yeah, buy-in.
Huh?
People buy into you.
Right, because like all it is look, one of our sales reps from way back started working with us, and he started off at the lowest of the lowest position as a fronter. He is like a partner in the company now, right? We've gifted our customer service agents, like our retention agents, cars. Like we buy cars for people, and there's a little strategy to that. The strategy is that if I were to buy you a car, right? A car is $400 a month. At that time, which was a couple of years back, a Lexus IS250F Sport was $450 a month. So that's equivalent to a $2 raise. So would you like to take a $2 raise, or would you like a car? Tell me.
Obviously the car.
All right. So what we do is that we do a 3-year lease on the car. So what that ensures for us is that rep stays happy for 3 years. They continue doing their job for 3 years. And if they're doing a good enough job, we renew the lease. We return that car and we get them a brand new one. We just keep them. I've renewed one lady's lease.
Smart.
For the perk for 3 leases, 9 years. She stayed with the company 9 years. And she retained a lot of my business. She's my retention department. Retention is the most important part of running an agency. If you have residual income, you have to ensure that the hard effort that you put in the beginning of writing the deal, securing the deal, ad spend, CPA, it needs to pan out on the back end. The LTVs need to match. And a lot of people mistake is that they don't really watch the back end. They like what they see in the front.
Especially
big flyers.
They make all their money on the front usually.
But it doesn't really pan out if the customer cancels in a couple of months. You just broke even. Are we in the business to break even? We're in the business to make money. So we have our tricks that we've done with employees over the time, and our employees really like they quit us because we do things that are very unorthodox. That's a very unorthodox thing to do. Buy you a car.
It's super cool too.
Super cool too.
Yeah.
It's equivalent to a $2 raise. $2, I think that's still some sense. Why am I going to give you a raise? You're not going to see that as value. You're going to see that as you pulling up to the job in a badass whip. And they have pride. And we do a whole ceremony. I have Lexus deliver the car to the office with a big red bow. We have a photographer. We have microphones. We do a whole ceremony, and we call all the employees out, and we let them know how special this person is to us, that they've been with the company for this many years, which gives the people that just started a couple of weeks back, a couple of months, like motivation.
Something to work towards.
Yes. So now when we do that ceremony, we see an insane amounts of ROI for next couple of weeks and months to come.
It's like a morale thing, because that's
The yacht trip.
It's
A yacht trip for the next 2 months, everyone's. So reps need hype, right? You need to be able to hype your employees, and we know how to do that. And it's about touching their heart. If you can touch their heart, you're the man for them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much, man, my call center journey, man. It's been a lot of work, and I'm still at it. Ultimately, I'm gonna be a diehard call center guy. Like, I love being in the environment of loud music, call centers, media buying, CPAs, just figuring out like, hey, what's our CPA right now? Like, we have live CPAs on each rep, how many calls they taken, how many calls they close. On each ad set, we have CPAs. On each ad, on each platform, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, Newsbreak, whatever it is, we know what CPAs are. And if the CPAs are too high somewhere, we know what to turn off, which ultimately helps our end CPA.
Everything.
For example, like even yesterday, let's give you a case in point. I was running on a platform, and I'm seeing like, hey, like, yeah, we are getting a lot of conversions, calls over an X amount of minutes. We're not getting purchases. Like, they're not buying. They're not forking up their credit card. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I'll let it run for a couple $100, $1,000. I'll let it run. Still nothing. I had to pause them. And that's because of the data that I had on it, right? So integrating, like, obviously we use Ringba. Integrating click IDs back to CRMs. Having integrations in your CRMs to post back to RedTrack, post back to the Pixel. We make the Pixel stronger. And I believe we talked a little bit about that in our mastermind today. It's very important in collecting data. Data's a commodity. If you have it, got to use it. Even when I talk to Dave, data monetization, right? It's very important. What are you doing with your drop calls? Like, what's going on? Like, I dropped some heat today, and I feel like I'm going to keep that to the people that attended. I would love to explain it on the podcast, but I want to keep it to this Columbia Con. This Columbia Con was something special, man. It's cool. We had David's guy, Chance, here, and me and David told him, hey, like, it's not recording this shit. We don't want this shit out. And by us doing that, people dropped heat, man. I dropped some heat. And I wasn't really planning on dropping that heat. I'm like, there's no cameras. There's like 25 guys here, all solid heavy hitters. They'll make use of it. And I dropped that heat. So it just comes down to your integration, your tech stack. At the end of it all, we're a tech company. You have a tech company. You run media. You're a tech company. Your tech needs to be on point. That's how I look at it. Call center, not a call center. It's a goddamn tech company. If your integration is not savvy, you're not going to succeed. And if you don't have AI in your business, you're going to be really behind. Incorporating AI is like the most crucial thing you can do at this moment. If you don't have AI, hire people, learn it, go to a library, sit on YouTube all day. That's how I learned AI. I go to a library once a week. You know that? Right next to my house, the library. I go to a library once a week for 3 hours a week. And I sit on GitHub and I look at different repositories of open source systems, and I look at it, and you can't hire anybody to do that because no one has the vision that you have. So let's say you look at a system and this system does X, Y, and Z. You're like, can I apply it to my business? A VA brain does not work like your brain. They're not visionaries like we are. We're entrepreneurs.
They're order takers.
They're order takers.
Yeah.
Well, once we able to figure out, hey, this works, this can work for my business, that's when I would test it. Hey, this is pretty neat stuff. It's open source. We have the code. All right, let's add on top of this code. Then I provide it to the developer. Then the developer then provides it to the team. Now our team, I have an internal website, like our own internal website, where all of the AI systems that I built internally are on there for my team. Zip code makers, like meta tag, metadata refreshers, like
Everything.
So media buyers have their own set of tools that I provided them, and that's all just me sitting at the library. Like those guys to the library, like they kind of like me, but they kind of don't, because I'm there till They're like, I hear on the intercom like every day, it's 5:45, like, library will be closing in 15 minutes. And like, they have to kick me out at 6 o'clock.
Like the last guy. Yeah.
I'm the last guy in, I'm the last guy out. First guy in, last guy out. And it's just like, it just comes down to like some days I feel like I have a lot of work to do. So I like to work. Look, I went to school, I went to FIU. Like I know the cram life. I like it. I can go to the library and cram, just work, you know? I find that my medium. I take my bottles of water, I take my sandwiches with me. I don't get out. I don't get out of my little space. I just work. And I feel like people get distracted with what comes with the success of affiliate marketing. I don't get distracted. I look at it as whatever. I did what I had to do and I made the money. Now what's next? What do we have to learn next? You know? So
what is next?
what is next? So our goal right now is to essentially build a company. The venture I'm working on right now, build that into a company where I can sell it, right? And from all this masterminds, from all of these speaking to people, I have the right resources for me to get the help that I need to bundle this up with a private equity fund and just sell it. Our goal is to build a book of business that has residuals, have a whole system in place, even sell a module that we have media buying training for, sell the entire book.
Business in a box almost.
Pretty much, right? That's our end goal. Our end goal is to build something great for 2x, 3x, and exit, and redo it again with a different vertical, you know? So I know like ACA is like, you know what's going on with ACA.
Yeah.
ACA is just terrible right now. What's next? What's after ACA? You know? Final expense is looking good. And a lot of people here are running final expense. Auto calls have been looking a little bit shoddy, but leads are always been there, man. COVID kind of hit it a little hard, but it's there. It's opportunity out there, man. You just got to know. Honestly, attending masterminds has been the key for me. And I thank Gabe for that. Gabe was my first mastermind I attended. It was Gabe's mastermind. It opened my eyes. Like, holy, you know, shit like this happens.
Yeah.
You know, people share stuff. And I was able to,
There's not a lot of information. Like
it's not a-
between my channel and David's channel and Gabe's channel on YouTube, that's probably where you find the most public information about
right.
people actually talking about what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, man. It's been a crazy journey. And I'm just very grateful to have people like yourself, David, Ray, Walker, all of these guys around me. Ron. I've been spending a lot of time with Ron. Ron's a smart motherfucker.
Super
cookie.
smart.
Smart cookie.
He's been through it all, man.
I know.
That's why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Ron's super smart. And, you know, like me and Ron have this relationship. Ron will hit me up at like 8 p.m. and says, hey, man, I'm going to take my boat out tomorrow. I would look up a flight that night, and I'm out in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we kick it. And over time, we share so much information with one another that we built a relationship to hanging out, having fun together. But at the same time, we have an end goal. Our end goal is to learn more, and we learn from each other, you know? And I feel like this whole space can be a little bit different, because everyone thinks like that. A lot of people in the space that are like very snaky, you know? One's just take, never give.
Yeah.
That's why we picked the people here to give. And everyone gave today. Everyone spoke and everyone provided value, you know? And that's the type of people that I think we should with. Am I wrong for saying that? Like,
No.
you know?
Because it's not the majority either.
It's not the majority. It's small percentage. We know who they are. They know who they are. And they're more than welcome at these shows, you know? So
What's a piece of advice you have for someone that's a new affiliate in the space?
new affiliate in the space, test every offer. Make sure you're test a lot of creatives. Also, don't test blindly. test offers that you know work for others. And if you can't get it to work, then there's something that you're doing wrong. And that's where you learn. Because then you can always blame it on, oh, the offer didn't work. Well, it worked for that motherfucker. Why didn't it work for you?
Someone's making it work.
Someone's making it work. So by coming to shows, by talking to people, you're able to figure out what offers work and what don't. So only go for offers that you know it's working for somebody else. And at that point...
And you see that at the shows.
And you see that at the shows often, right? And look, a lot of people don't like to mention what offers they run, but in a intimate setting, if you're a good enough closer, you can find out what offers are working, what offers aren't.
And good people that you
And good
trust
people,
with will just tell you,
right?
because
There's some people, yeah, because you're genuine, right?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people tell me secrets about their business. It's just out of just me being genuine about it, you know? I provide information, they provide information, I provide feedback, they provide feedback, and we all learn and grow. A lot of offers I tried that didn't work, and I'll tell you, hey, I tried this, didn't work for me, and this is what I did. If you can try to crack it, go for it, but I'll tell you how I failed.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Bro, how can people learn more from you, get connected to you?
Honestly, so from Russell Brunson, who runs ClickFunnels, his main thing is hook, story, offer. And I'm not at the offer stage yet, right? I'm not at a point where I feel like I'm slowly getting into it. We had Columbia Con, great show, and I don't have an offer. I don't have an offer for anyone as of like, hey, this is what, run my offer, or hey, I'm gonna offer you a course. Like, I don't have that. I'm just more of like, hey, let's just, if you want to make money, I'll help you make money, you know? So at shows, at wherever, hit me up. Just reach out to me, add me on Instagram. Very open. There's a lot of people in the industry that I help, that people would be like, I shouldn't have done that, but I don't look at it like that. There's so much money to be made out there. I don't consider anyone my competitor.
Yeah.
Just too much out there. And then with that mindset, they're just like,
You can't lose.
yeah, that mindset, you can't lose, because you just grow. It's an infinite grow, you know? So, but yeah, man, thank you for doing this podcast. And I know we've been talking about doing this podcast for a while, and I hope you don't do the whole thing, because I rambled on a lot.
No, we're going to drop everything.
Oh. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. And we finally did it. We've been talking about this for many months now.
At least 4 months.
At least 4 months on, hey, let's do a podcast with some more. And I'm just like, yeah, we'll do it. And then we never end up getting around to it. But I'm glad we did it. And I'm glad I was able to essentially like tell my story. I've never been on I usually, for the past 10 years, I've been laying low on what I do. You know, I never went to shows. I would go to LeadsCon here and there. I just sold insurance and I just made a shit ton of money. And now I feel like branding is very important. And I feel like everyone needs to build their brand. Everyone needs to build their brand. It helps with buyers. It helps with everything, you know. It helps you get paid, right? So company goes belly up, they're going to pay you, right?
Yeah.
So because they know you have presence, they know you know other people in the space, they're going to be a good look for them. So once you can build that, that's all you need. So I appreciate you helping me one step closer to building that.
Happy to, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. And let me ask you a question. How did you like Columbia Con?
How do I like Columbia Con?
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. You got to actually...
Tell me your input. I'm going to interview you for like 2 minutes. Tell me your input on Columbia Con.
I think it was an awesome group of people. A good diversity of what people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you get different perspectives. Like the call guy could give an idea to the Nutra guy, or the Nutra guy could share something that could crush for the lead gen guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having the right balance of those like high level guys in each one of those spaces was something super unique. Usually like Gabe's events and those, but it's very heavy lead gen. So, which is good. And it's also, maybe you won't see or hear the things from the Nutra guys or the call guys. So like the stuff that the call guys are doing with data, which is what you talked about, what Walker talked about. Right, I'm heavier lead gen, so I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
Right. So I think that's something super unique about it.
Well, I think it was a great turnout. I feel like everyone walked away learning something. That TikTok session was insane. It's cool. Are you going to act upon it? I sure am.
He's so young, man.
Yeah, for sure. So like the stuff that you don't hear at shows, stuff that it's very hard for someone to explain what they do in front of 500 people. It's different when you're 25 people. Your hand selected to be here. This is an unpaid event.
To be honest,
That's a Ringba sponsoring.
yeah.
You know,
Shout out to Ringba.
shout out to Ringba, Ankur, Fight Calls. You know, and Ankur and Ringba have been working together for many years. They're homies, right? And the fact that both of them see the vision. We have a vision here. Vision, it came out. It came out to be what it's supposed to be, man. And David and I are super ecstatic.
Yeah.
The turnout of this. And there's still more to come. We're still halfway through the event. We have tomorrow. We have tonight, tomorrow. We have a lot of things planned. And I'm looking forward to people connecting. I really want people to JV amongst one another. I don't want to, I can, but I'm not being like, I want to JV with somebody. No, I want people to naturally JV from one another. And that's what we're trying to build here. And ultimately, that produces more revenue.
Yeah.
Right? Again, thank you, John.
No, thank you, man.
I really hope you don't post the entire thing because I rambled a lot. Please don't.
We're gonna get on,
Wait.
brother. Thank you again, man.
John, come on, man. You can't do that to me, man. So,
That was awesome.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.